Hello, today we're going to be coating this Raptor, Ford Raptor, all the surfaces, obvious surfaces outside and inside with liquid armor coating, nanoscale coating. The first thing that we're going to do is to start with the windscreen, and we'll start with an evaluation. What we want to do is to see if that windscreen has got any previous coatings on top of it, because it's a bit like painting. You have to prepare the windscreen correctly to make sure that the nanoscale coating adheres properly. And one of the things you'll notice that I'm wearing gloves. The reason that I'm wearing gloves is because a fingerprint can be over 100 times thicker than a coating. So I don't want any fingerprints on there, and I definitely don't want any residues on the surface. So we'll start off by checking the surface. So the first thing that we're going to look at is to see if there are any coatings on the windscreen. And I'm looking to see here the pattern and the hydrophobicity of the droplet. And it's moving, and it's got quite a thick trail, so there isn't any overt coating on there. We're going to clean the surface. Now, I did look earlier, and I think that down here we have a slightly different performance. So I'm going to clean this windscreen. We'll always clean a windscreen thoroughly, but we really have to work a minimum of 5 minutes on this windscreen. A minimum of 5 minutes. And I'll show you the procedure right now. So we're going to start, and I would advise people to choose a halfway visual mark down, because you'll never clean all of this surface in one attempt. So I always work half a window to clean, and then the other half a window to clean. I've got my microfiber and ethanol, and we're going to start. And the first wiping actions will just be to remove the heavy contamination. And as I say, it will take at least 5 minutes, maybe a little more, to clean this surface. It depends where the car has been driving. If it's got a lot of diesel contamination from behind lorries, you can see that reaching that middle part is going to be a problem. And that will also be a problem when you're applying. And if you've got a guy who's 6 foot, it's not a problem. But if you've got guys who are smaller like me, that's a problem. You know, a glass surface is really rough. We think it's smooth. It's not at all smooth. And it's full of dirt. It will take literally a good 5 minutes to remove it, maybe more. Do you want some more ethanol, guys? I think you probably do. Good. Do you want some more ethanol? Okay. So from an application point of view, you've got to, this is your problem to work out daily, is how do I get into the middle? You might need to use steps, but you're struggling to get that. And with this technology, if you're not clean, it's not going to work properly. So you really do have to make sure. Yeah, and you're not getting any pressure, so that's an issue. So we need a step either side for doing that. Also, if you're going to do the roof, you're going to need steps anyway. The edge collects all of the dirt, and I'm sure you've come across this before. Now, when we do our final clean, we really do a special clean on the edge. But again, we're here to learn, so carry on cleaning. As observers, do you think that would be clean yet? What do you think? Do you think that would be fully clean? You guys, do you think that's fully clean? Do you think the windscreen is clean now? Don't worry what do you think? Yes, no, maybe?
No, sir.
No. I would say it's probably 90%, but we want 100%. One of the things that we're going to do now is we'll use a white tissue, and that will show if there's any contamination. It'll show up on here. So we'll try a white tissue and see if there's anything on there. So first I'm going to clean here. If you notice, I'm going to the edge. I'm not actually touching the edge because that is, I know, will be full of dirt. That's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. If I go across here, I'm going to have dirt. Now, you could clean this area for 6 months and you'll still get soiling out of there. What you do is, when you've cleaned, you come along here and you clean thoroughly this edge the last time. And you can see that I'm getting, can you see that? You got strong dirt there and a little bit of soil. That's coming from the actual glass. That's coming from the joint, but that soiling there is coming from the glass. And that's what we see if a windscreen is not completely clean. Another thing that you will tell you straight away if the windscreen isn't clean is if you clean it and then you get a brown deposit on the application cloth, because our best and deepest cleaner is the actual coating. That will, if there's any dirt in there and if you've got a brown appearance on your tissue, then you will immediately know that you've not done a 100% job of your cleaning. So we're going to do one more clean. The guys are going to give it one more go with a cloth like this. Then with our final thing is we're going to wipe the blades clean, because those will contain, we don't want to use, we want a perfect job. We wipe the blades clean because we're going to coat those. Okay, have a look at your cloths. Are they completely clean? Apart from the edges there, yeah, that's, you can see this, see that dirt there? You see that guy's there? It's a little bit of dirt coming here. So we're still lifting dirt from there. So just turn your cloth around like that. Yeah, and have a look. Is it completely clean? A little bit of, I can see a little bit of dirt there. Just fold your cloth again, and okay, and just, yeah, wipe around the edge thoroughly. Okay, that will always pick up dirt. And then wipe the windscreen wiper blade, that you'll take off the dirt from there. So come here, just wipe the edge in this blade here. Because we're going to coat that as well when we're finishing. Okay. Right. If we put our coating on now, it will come straight off. Because I don't know if the camera can pick it up. We've cleaned the window, but can you still see smears on top of here? Do you know what that is? That is the dirt that we've pulled out with the alcohol that's sitting like a dust on the top. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to buff that off. We have to remove that. It only takes a few seconds. We're going to wipe it away, and then the coating is really quick. All the work is in the preparation, and the hardest bit is this windscreen here. As I said, I'm just going to go and quickly do it. We haven't managed to do the middle. I've been watching, so you can see that you finished just short because your arms aren't long enough. You finished just short. I'm just going to do this middle thing. I maybe got longer arms. Okay, now that was very slow because it's the first time that you've done it. But so, as I say, I would normally spend 5-6 minutes by myself. So you guys will do it a little bit faster as you get used to it. So we've now cleaned. We're just going to buff that surface with another microfiber. You can wash these and keep on using them. You don't have to use new ones here. I'll just get one. I can use this one here. It's clean. Whoops. So you can see, is the camera picking that up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can see that is dirt. The alcohol's evaporated, so we've left the little dirty particulates up on there. It's essential that those are buffed off. And it's now that you get to see if the inside of the windscreen is clean or not. Now, if you don't like somebody, just coat half their windscreen. That will really upset them, because they have one fantastic side and one not. Okay, we supply these coatings, this 7601, on a worldwide basis. Liquid Armour is the brand for Saudi Arabia. Now, what we need to be aware of is that we are just pouring today. For this windscreen, for the whole windscreen, 10 millilitres is sufficient. So how you're going to do that locally is your decision. You could put it into a little container and then just soak the cloth. We don't spray it, we always put it on the cloth and then wipe. However you want to get the 10 millilitres into the cloth is your decision. You'll also notice that I've taken one of the large wipes and made it smaller. You definitely don't want a wipe that's any bigger than that, because you don't want to leave the liquid inside the wipe. It's a waste of money. So we end up with a small wipe. So I'm going to put, we're just going to do half of it here. So I'll put about 5 millilitres into half of that window. And if you can see, I can see where I've reached for the polishing, and it's just about there. So, in fact, I've just realised I've missed a little bit, I think, unless it's on the inside. So, 7601. Now this has a hardness of 9.5H when it's applied to glass and it's fully cured. If I put this on, it will take a few seconds to apply, as you'll see. And so I'm going to put about 5 mil in there. And I'm going to work quickly. Going up and down. Working the liquid in. Backwards and forwards, then up and down again. This is not the best way. Keep on working till the cloth is drying, and it's nearly dry now. I can see and feel it's nearly dry. Okay, I don't know if the camera's picking up, there's a slight, we call it bloom. Yeah, that's completely normal. That's exactly what we expect. That, as the SiO2, the liquid glass coating, is drying, it's already forming a layer. That layer is 500 times thinner than a human hair. The little bit of white that you can just make out is the excess. It doesn't want to form in the layer. So as we're talking, it's gone forming the layer, and it's rejecting, saying, I don't want the excess, I don't need it, and that is what we see here. So we're going to let that dry, and in this temperature here, 10 minutes from now, we're going to buff that surface, and we're finished. Technically, you don't have to buff it. You could just drive away, but it wouldn't, aesthetically, it wouldn't be very nice. that bit of coating will be washed away by activity, rain and things like that, and leave the important coating level behind. In this environment here, it's normally about 10 minutes. Okay. And so now we're going to, can you pick this area up here? Yeah. You can see it's got misting on here now. Can you see it's gone? And there's another bit here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's gone. So, we're just buffing off the extra. Does that look okay, Bernd? Yeah? Yeah, you can't see in this light. Okay, now, if you're talking to your clients and you're saying, okay, you're just doing a windscreen and they want to take it to a car wash. Not today, tomorrow, for the windscreen. Tonight, maybe, but really tomorrow before you put it through the car wash. If you take it outside now, the best thing for this and the coatings when they're dry is sunlight. Hotter, the better. The hottest day in Riyadh is good for the coating. It'll make it go really hard. So don't worry about that. If you put it outside now, the dust won't stick to it. Not a problem. So you can just go. So I would normally, on a professional basis, one person, maximum 20 minutes for a windscreen, maximum. We've taken our time, done it very, I would say, normally if I'm doing my own windscreen at home, I'd take 5 minutes to clean it thoroughly, coat it, wait 20 minutes or something like that because it's cooler in the UK, and then buff it. But the actual cleaning application time, 10 minutes. Okay? Yeah. If they've got a little bit of a wax coating on there, you have to take what we use is 40 wire wool. Have you come across this 40 wire wool? It's the finest wire wool that you can get. I've got a sample with me in my case. Pardon? So we use that if you've got a thickish coating on. If you've just got a very, very light coating on, just really very light, then you use the Blue 1000. Have you used the Blue 1000? The Blue 1000 with a microfiber for 5 minutes or so will take off if it's just a thin coating. Okay? But if somebody's had a wax done 2 months ago and they say, oh, it's not very good, I want my windscreen, you have to work harder on that. And either a glass cleaner, an abrasive glass cleaner, you've probably got it here, or the 40 wire wool, and that will remove it. And then the same procedure. So now we're going to move on to coating the bodywork, the plastics, the exterior of the car with the 640 permanent protection. The most important thing, we've just spoken to the team here, is that this has got a lot of VOCs, volatile organic components, and so if you were to smell it, very strong. We have ventilation here, ventilation there, and you guys have got masks on. Now, we're only doing a small area here. It's my choice, so I'm not wearing a mask. But we definitely need our gloves on. So, we're going to start and work on a small area here. It's the same, just on a panel. We're going to do this panel here, down to there. It's exactly the same procedure for the rest of the car. Again, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to clean with alcohol. It's the same procedure as before. Ethanol. I've already evaluated the surface. There's no coatings on there. There's no coatings on here. all I need to do is to clean with ethanol. And we're just going to work on this small area here, but it's the same, it could be the whole car. We're working on this panel just here. From there to this joint here, and up to there. Clean car, clearly not my car. The same as before, we've cleaned now with alcohol. We've removed the dirt from inside. Now those little bits of dirt are sitting on the surface. We need to remove those so that we can go to the next stage. And this is clean and dry. And so we just buff that. When you've put some coatings on, have you used a little block ever? Have you used a little foam block for coating before? No, you've never used that. Some people, when they do detailing, they use a little foam block and they work like that. That's no good here. We've got to be able to get our fingers inside all these little areas here. Now, we have two microfibers here. This is the final buff microfiber. I just wanted to make sure that we have that. This is our second buffing microfiber. So now I'm just going to apply to here. We don't need a great deal of this coating. 100 milliliters. So Bernd, could you tell me the 100 ml bottle? Yeah. This is 100 milliliters. This much liquid will do the whole car. We don't do the glass with it, we just do the bodywork. But that will definitely do one whole car, so it goes a long way. So, what I would also recommend is that you decant this into smaller bottles. Either have the one, because if you knock this over, it's expensive. Really expensive. So that's why I would always work in a 100 ml bottle. Then if you do it, but if you don't, if you wipe this out, it's €1,000 or whatever. It's expensive. So, again, we're going to put so I've moistened my cloth, and the rest is very straightforward. Here, I'm going to just wipe it on, making sure that I get everything covered. And it goes on beautifully. The light in here isn't the best for detailing. You need a bit more light, but we're just doing trials today. Doesn't matter about the evenness of, because we're going to buff this in a minute. We just want to make sure that we've covered everything. Now, if I were to leave that, it might be okay on here, or if you go into the sunlight, you might see those rainbow colors. On black, for sure, you would see the rainbow colors. So we've applied that. Now we have to rub it off. At the moment, the coating on there is drying quickly, and it's approximately 10 microns. That's quite thick. 10 microns. Do you work in microns at all? It's if you anybody spray a car? Does anybody spray cars? If you spray a car and you go past one time, that's about 10 microns. One good pass is 10 microns. So it will change the color. We've put that on now. In this sort of temperature, we are now pretty much immediately going to buff. If you're working on a large area like this, our recommended procedure is that you have one person applying. So he will apply evenly like that, maybe starting over here. And he will apply on the bonnet. When he gets to about this point, the next guy will then start buffing with a microfiber. So we're going to use this type of microfiber to do the buffing. Thank you. So we take it, so we've waited about, the reason I'm talking a little bit would be the sort of time that we would buff after application. If you were doing a door, by now we'd have wiped it on the door. As soon as we finish the door, we're now going to start buffing. Could somebody come and feel this, please? You'll feel it will drag. Just buff everything there. Can you feel it's dragging? Right, buff quite hard.
Not hard.
Yeah.
Not so hard.
Not so, but you can feel it starting to drag. In 20 minutes, half an hour, it'll. If you do this and leave it for 1 hour, forget it. You have to. We want to start buffing in about 1 minute to 2 minutes after application. And if you don't, this is military grade. This will not remove with anything. You'll have to grind. If you make a mistake with this, you have to grind the whole car off. So,
After you peel
smooth. Yeah. So
finish.
yeah. So you must go every area, underneath every area. So I'm just making sure. Okay, so that is the first procedure, but we've not finished yet because that is quite rough. This leaves little scratches. So we then go to this. This microfiber is really, really soft. Okay? Yeah, it's very soft. We call it soft or suede or peach microfiber. Okay, this is for finishing. Here's somebody, yeah, one of you guys, yeah, just finished. You have to be thorough, make sure you go to every area. Okay, that's it. Now, unlike many of the other ceramic procedures, this is one shot. You do it at one time, not multi-layering. The coating we've put on there is now approximately 1 micron. We've taken away most of the coating. It's still very, very durable. Now, if you were coating my car, an older car, I would just put it on and leave it. I can put it on, it would last longer than my car. The coating's so strong. If I had a black car, you can never put it on black and leave it, dark blue and leave it. If I've got an ordinary red car, not a Ferrari that's really polished, I can just wipe it on and leave it. But for high quality cars, you need to put it on and remove it, because in certain lights you will get that prismatic effect. On chrome, for sure, if you put it on chrome, you'll definitely get the rainbow effect. So if this is a chrome thing here, do exactly the same. You clean, you buff to take away the dirt, you apply it, wipe it on, and then you do the buff with one microfiber, then finish with this. Okay, we know what we're doing on the outside. It's exactly the same thing we've done here, exactly the same thing we've done there, and on here. Final point. These, we call them decals, but you call them, what do you call these? Little sticker things. These sticker, yeah. Now, nearly always we have no problem with these, but we're going to check. Bern, could you pass me the bottle? The 640. Yeah. So, I don't know if this, I don't want to put a coating on here and cause a problem. So what we do is a tiny evaluation. So I've just put a tiny piece just on the end of there. I just want to make sure that it doesn't dissolve it or cause a problem to it. It shouldn't, but I've just put something on there. I know it's on there. It wouldn't make any difference. You're not going to damage the car. It's just on the tiny bit there, just there. I'm going to look at that in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If that's okay, we carry on with the... So now we're going to go inside the car. It's exactly the same procedure as we've already covered. We've cleaned this already with just the same procedure, ethanol, and then buffed off. And now we've got it just in a small bottle here. Again, we're going to apply the liquid to here. This is a nanoscale coating again, 500 times thinner than a human hair. Very straightforward. There, and we just wipe it on. Nothing could be more straightforward. Make sure you're covering all the areas, even the shiny parts there, perfect for that. Application is very straightforward. So we allow that to dry. So we're going to do the whole car. We allow it to dry for approximately 30 minutes. And then, same procedure as before, we're going to come along and buff. The coating that we put on there is now a liquid glass coating. So there's a layer of glass on top of the plastic. One of the beauties of this layer of glass is it's biostatic, it's easy to clean. Biostatic means bacteria doesn't like growing on it. It stops bacterial growth. And so it's flexible as well, because this is a flexible surface. This is definitely a flexible surface. And as we talk, sitting or listening to me talk, the coating is getting tougher and tougher and tougher. We buff after 30 minutes, you can see there's hardly any need to buff, but we would buff after 30 minutes just to make it nice and even. Full strength after 10 hours. But you can use it before then, of course. But technically, it takes 10 hours to get, it's like paint. It's nanoscale paint. It just takes, everything takes time to dry. This takes 10 hours to dry. And that, we don't buff this particular coating until 30 minutes after application. But then it's just really the lightest wipe over and it's done. So that's for every plastic surface inside. You can even use it on glass if you like. So 673, our universal coating for autos. Okay, so this car was brought in for coating today, and somebody asked us to coat the fabric on the seats, and we said this is not really a good idea because the coating will be sitting on top of dirt. And so we took Biosativa, our fabric and general cleaner, and we cleaned this area. Took 30 seconds, probably less. So that shows you the difference between a clean surface and a dirty surface. If we try to coat this dirty surface here, the silicon dioxide, the glass coating, will sit on top of the dirt and it won't bind to the fabric. We need clean fabric to really do a good job. Again, fingerprint is 100 times thicker than a coating, so that's got a layer of dirt on that's maybe 1,000 times thicker than the coating. So it's a waste of time coating it. We only need to coat on clean surfaces. So, what are we going to do? Just do this area here, in the middle here. Then you rub it like this. Then you give it another spray. But this is not any good for this. Yes, it's not a good bottle. The pump spray, you would be already finished. You'd be already finished. Okay, so there. So that's the procedure. Glove, spray, wipe. Yeah. So quick spray, wipe, and then another spray and wipe, because the liquid will sit on top of the fabric to start with. So you wipe it, it pushes it inside. The next time you spray, it goes in very quickly. So spray quickly, wipe it. Spray again, wipe it, that's it, finished.